Get ready to get uncorked. It's a new kind of show. Starring me, Cindy Ashton. With special guest, Jill Hewlett. Live from the streets of New York City. This is Cindy Uncorked. All right, this one is a bit of a party because we've got the Jill Hewlett in the house. And I mean the Jill Hewlett. She's going to help us to train our brains for success, which means you and I and all my viewers are going to get active, really getting uncorked. And at the very end, I'm going to tackle how do I remember stuff? When I need to present information, how do I remember it so it sticks in my brain and I communicate effectively? But of course, as usual, we've got to get started with our adventure. So let's get uncorked, my darlings, and let's get moving. And we're back. We are back here at the Great Barrington Airport and the Berkshire Aviation School, and we've got the fabulous Peggy Muffler with us. Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Cindy.
Tell us how you got into aviation.
My dad was in World War II, a military-trained pilot, and he came back to New England after the war and started a family and bought a small plane. So ever since I was a little girl, 5 or 6 years old, I enjoyed flying with my dad in a small plane very similar to the Cub. We would do aerobatics, loops and rolls and spins, and I was happy to be aloft with him for many hours. But there weren't many women at the airports when I went to different airports with my dad. And so there weren't really any role models. At that time, I was back in the 60s, women were not in the airlines, and they were not astronauts, and they were not flying in the military as they are today. So I did not pursue a pilot's license when I was a teenager, even though I had that opportunity. But I did many years later because I always enjoyed flying. I guess flying was in my blood. So I came back to it many years later and did the training required and decided that I really enjoyed it. And so I became certified as an instructor because I do enjoy sharing that passion for aviation with other people.
Awesome. And so where are we at now with women in aviation? Because I know that I fly a lot and it's always male pilots. I don't understand.
I don't understand it either,
What?
Cindy.
I know, right? Fuck up already.
We still comprise only about 6% of the pilot population.
Wow.
So when you get on that airliner, you'll only see maybe and that number is even lower, about 5%. But as I said, women are now allowed to fly in the military. They are now allowed to fly in the airlines, and there are female astronauts who are very accomplished. So there's no reason why more women shouldn't be inspired to get into aviation. One of my former students, a young female, went through all her ratings with me, and she also became an airplane mechanic.
Wow.
And that's her full-time job now. So there's no reason why women can't also be in the aerospace industry, engineering and mechanics, you know. So I'm very passionate about trying to be that role model that I did not have at the airport when I was a young girl. So I like to try to inspire young girls that there's no reason why they can't continue on in their training.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing that, because really, I mean, as I've never thought of ever flying a plane, and now the thought of being able to do it is like, wow, this is amazing. How come I never thought of this as something that's possible for me? So thank you for leading the way.
We'll have fun.
This segment of Life in the Streets has been brought to you by The Diet Rebellion by Dr. Carrie Fullerton. Live life, love food, be free. So do you think the brain that you're born with is a brain that you're stuck with, or do you think you can change your brain?
I think absolutely you can change it.
I think depending on the environment you grow up in, it can change how you perceive things, like I guess the way your brain chemistry works, but like biologically it is the same brain that you were born with, but depending on situation, your interpretation and perspective of things change as you grow.
I feel that you just need to overcome things that you have learned.
I think like parts of it, definitely like parts of it stay the same, right? Like the stuff that like keeps your heart going and whatever, but I think it's kind of malleable.
And just persevere and move on.
As far as like our personalities and stuff, I don't know, maybe it's like a balance, I guess, between the two, but maybe more in favor of it being able to change, I guess.
Hot topic of the week, and it is hot, 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 because I've got my girlfriend from the Big T Dot. In case you're not from Canada, it's Toronto. Her name is Jill Hewlett, and it is all about how to train your brain for success. She is a brain fitness expert. Hello, Jill.
Thanks for having me on the show, Cindy. Great to be here.
So excited. So, I remember you once said to me, a brain is a brain, 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 no matter what your age. So tell us about the power of the brain in terms of really training it for success.
Absolutely. I'd love to. At every age and stage of life, we can affect the growth, the functioning, the efficiency, and the overall development of our brain. And by the choices we make, the things we do, the thoughts we think, we can either grow or shrink our brain. So in every opportunity of day-to-day life, we can consciously, with the right tools, expand our brain.
Fun.
And this is my favorite tool to demonstrate that.
I feel like going to the beach now.
That's where we'll take it next.
I know.
Okay.
So this is all very exciting. What do we have power over?
Well, when it comes to our cognitive health, a lot of people think of it strictly as developing the brain as an organ, which is important, and we can do that. It also relates to our mental health, our mental state, our mental clarity, our memory, our focus, our organization, our ability to make decisions, to strategize, to plan. We have the power over being able to perform those skills better. And it also relates to our emotional health, our emotional balance, our attitude, our motivation, just how good we feel about ourselves and about life. We can also impact our physical health, our vitality, our flexibility, our strength, our immune system, and basically our overall functioning, which I think is really important right from childhood right into the aging brain, and something that we can do at all ages.
I love it. So what you're saying is that we have this power. It is up to us. We don't just have to age and feel like we grow old and lose our memory. We actually have control over piles of it.
This is based on neuroplasticity and keywords like neurogenesis, our ability to create new brain cells from the day we're born to the day we die. And because it's available throughout life, when we have the information, the right tools, we can actually become the sculptor of our brain. We can work with this brain plasticity and literally sculpt our brain because, in fact, it is malleable, it's modifiable, it's changeable.
So what are things that impact and affect our brain?
Everything we do, everything we think, every action we take, every interaction we have affects our brain. There's a saying that goes, how we fire it is how we wire it. So whatever we're putting our attention on, whatever we're doing, is sculpting and growing and affecting the state of our brain. Now, two things in particular I want to share are environment and experiences. So just to speak to the fact, it's so important to put ourselves in healthy environments where there's clean air to breathe and lots of sunshine and color and movement. Those things, those environments where we can move around and be fully in our body and breathe deeply and let the sun shine on our face is really good for our brain, because whatever we do to our body, we do to our brain. The other thing is our quality of experiences. Whatever we repeat over and over again, the types of experiences we have on a regular basis also sculpts our brain. So those are our habits, really. We first form our habits, then our habits form us. So whatever we're doing on a repetitive basis, the environments we're in, the experiences we're having are having a huge impact on our cognitive health.
So why and how are people limiting their potential then?
There's a lot of ways. I think the two key issues, though, come down to awareness. They don't know they can change their brain, and they're stressed. A lot of people are dealing with chronic stress. Acute stress is temporary. It doesn't have the same kind of impact. But when we're in stress on a consistent amount of time, it takes its toll. So really it's the stress factor and not knowing they can do something about it and that they can change their brain.
So Jill, tell us then, what are the types of stress? You've talked about acute versus chronic. Let's go a little deeper now.
Sure. So first and foremost, stress has a negative impact on us. We all know that. But in particular, it actually kills off brain cells. And the idea with brain fitness is we want to create more brain cells, more links, more networks, a lush environment, cognitive environment. So it's shutting down our executive functioning skills, our higher order thinking. It has an impact on our immune system, and it puts us in a reactive state rather than a responsive state. So that's the gist of what's happening with stress. Now, there's stress that we can control, like getting more water, going out for walks, spending more time outside, getting better sleep, just kind of choosing to have a positive attitude too. We can do that. And when we do those things that we can control, then we can kind of deal with stress accordingly. But when we don't do those things, that's the very thing that actually causes the stress. So, and then there's the uncontrollable stress, the things that we see on the news that upset us, that bring us down, and we can't really do a lot about, or our neighbor who's struggling with an issue, or a family member who has a health problem. Yeah, we can have a little bit of an impact, but we can't resolve it immediately. And those things are things we can't control. And then there's the universal stresses, the stresses that affect all of us, like when we're grieving a loss, or we have financial concern and worry. And then there's those personal stressors, those things that are unique to us, those quirky little things that just trigger us, that someone else wouldn't even notice, but it really itches at us, or really bugs us, or really brings up the hair on our skin. And those types of things are things, when we become aware of the personal ones and the controllable ones, we can really do something about it.
So this is really fascinating to see the different levels of the stressors. I'm really curious of how we get our brains in shape, and we're actually going to get active with the audience. But first, it's commercial break, everybody, and then after that, live from the street, everyone's going to get uncorked and what they do to help the brain fog. We'll see you after the break.
Are you truly living in the now, or are you just okay, caught on an endless hamster wheel of work, struggling to be the mom you desire to be, and feeling your relationships straining under the pressure? Hi, I am Yai, and my course, Prosperity Now, will show you how to stop tolerating just okay and tap into the joy of abundance. When you powerfully live in the now, you will have a career that lights you up, raise happy and fulfilled children, and cultivate a deep, loving relationship with your partner. Go to prosperitynowcourse.com for more information on how to create your prosperous life by harnessing the power of now.
Want more Cindy? Join her and professional speaker Jason Reed on the Speaking for Profit podcast, as they talk about how you can influence your audience, whether it's one person or 1,000. How uncorked do they get? You're going to have to tune in to find out.
And so when you get brain fog, how do you wake up your brain?
Oh, I probably don't.
How do I wake up my brain? I tend to do something active, so I'll go for a run or listen to loud music, do something that gets all of my body moving so my brain can recharge and get ready to go again.
How do I wake up my brain? If I had the answer to that, I would bottle it. To wake up my brain, I think I just really need to just clear it and just meditate.
I think usually it's just write it out, or probably drink water.
Just try to put whatever's in my mind that I'm thinking of and it's boggling me down, and just try to start over.
Great.
Or probably talk to someone. Or I'll probably try and overcompensate and sleep a lot the next day, but nothing immediately. I don't down 2 cups of coffee just to try to keep things together. I guess I just write it out. It depends on the person, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, we're back, and I'm excited because we're going to train our brains now. So, Jill, I know that you do a lot of corporate wellness and teams and groups, and you've got some great programs. But for now, let's get moving and tell us some of the best ways to get moving with our brains and training our brains for success.
Okay, I'd love to share with you solutions on how to create a fit brain. That is my specialty, and there are many ways people can create a fit brain. Okay, I'm going to give you my top 4. Okay?
Great.
The
Go for
first
it.
one, super easy. You don't need any equipment. You don't need to move from the chair we're sitting in. It's about creating awareness. What we focus on expands. What we become aware of, we can do something about. But science has taken it a step further and proven that as we become aware of something, we literally create new brain pathways from our brainstem, which is the place, our habit, how we've always done things, how we do things unconsciously, the patterns we naturally go into. And then as we become aware, we grow out of that place, that habitual place, and we move into our midbrain and then to our frontal lobes, where we can executive plan. We can make new strategies, we can be creative, we can innovate, we can problem solve, and basically we create new pathways. Number 2, positive thinking. As humans, we are so prone to negative thinking because it's to save our lives. People,
interesting.
Right, negative thoughts are there because we are being cautious.
It's like a protection.
It's a protection.
Barrier.
So we're safety oriented.
Right.
Did you know that people would rather worry about something that doesn't actually happen? than not worry and something happen and they go, I should have worried.
Yeah.
So we have to work with that. And when we become aware, we can redirect our thinking, we can catch ourselves in those automatic negative thoughts and move into how we do want to think about something. What's the perspective that would be more valuable here, that would suit the outcome we want to achieve? And the more we do that, then those become the new habit. They become the new pattern.
Cool. Number 3.
Brain fuel. So a lot of people don't realize that when they're choosing food for their body, it's immediately having an impact on their brain. And there are key essential nutrients that we must have on a daily basis so that we can be healthy and strong and repair issues and maintain current health and function at optimal levels. And these are 90 essential nutrients which consist of minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. And there's many ways that people can get these, and we'll share that on another program.
Very cool. Can you give us one that they really need to have?
Oh, there's so many to share. Well, calcium, so important for the bones.
Right.
Selenium is an anti-cancerous mineral. Chromium and vanadium are so important to deal with, to ward off diabetes. But the thing is, I don't like saying one-off nutrients because they need
it's
to
not
be
about
taken.
one. They've got to be taken together.
Yeah, they need to take it as a symphony, a whole team, because they work as cofactors and team members, and they play off each other. So it's really about getting a plant-based, colloidal, absorbable product that will that a person can easily take on a daily basis.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Last but certainly not least, number 4.
Okay, number 4 is my favorite. It is the essence of brain fitness. It's how we create a fit brain using integrative movement. Now, most people realize when they're feeling stressed or they're feeling lethargic or they have a foggy brain that if they go for a walk, they're going to feel better. So it's kind of built on that premise. The idea here is that if we incorporate frequent, novel, integrative movements throughout our day, we will have our brain functioning on all cylinders on a more optimal level because movement is the greatest way to activate, stimulate, and grow the brain. In fact, they call movement the miracle growth factor or the miracle growth fertilizer. So I love to show some movements. The great thing about the brain fitness activities I share is that they're really simple, they're quick, they're easy, they can be done anywhere, anytime. And I think with people's busy lives, they really need tools that they can implement
right away.
On the fly. Yeah, they're not going to do it. And then I tend to have people say, wow, I'm so happy I learned these. I don't have time not to use them. Because they put them in a learning ready state, a life ready state. It raises their energy, gets them in a more focused zone. Yeah, there's no reason not to do it.
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
I love doing this quick all-over body massage. It's one of my favorites to share because it feels so good.
Now, are we rubbing fast or what are we doing?
You actually only use a small part of your body.
Oh.
It's the ear, because you have over 400 acupressure points on your ears.
Okay.
So everyone, viewers at home, can bring their hands to their ears to either side, the thumbs, the pads at the front, the other fingers at the back, and you just gently roll out your ear bit by bit. This is an auricular exercise. It's been around for thousands of years. It's based on acupressure and acupuncture. And we're stimulating all these wonderful points that are connected through meridians to the organs and systems of your body. So you do this breathing, top to bottom, maybe 2 or 3 times. And already what we're doing is we're stimulating actually both sides of the brain. We're tuning out distracting noises. We're turning on listening. And we're actually energizing our entire system. It's a really nice wake-up call.
Great. One more.
Okay, so another great one is, well, sometimes I talked about walking. Not everyone has time to leave their desk, and a lot of people are sitting for long periods of time in front of their computers, and they need to take a break. So if they don't have the running shoes to put on to go for a run, or they don't have the time to go out for a walk, they can do it right at their desk. Okay, so cross-lateral movement of the body is really great to get both sides of the brain going. So we can start, just like you're doing, opposite hand to opposite leg. Okay, and then turn your head as well, because then you're getting the core movement. Okay, and that's nice. And when we can high-five each other when we come across, too.
I love it. Bam!
Oh, yeah, when you have a partner, it's extra fun.
Bam! This is fun. I feel like I'm like in the playground.
Yeah. And then I'll just share that doing this seated is great, and to take it up to the next level, to enhance the brain further, you can do this standing up and slowly, because when you do it standing slowly, you are activating the vestibular system, the balance system, and when you're in balance, you can't be in stress. That's a wonderful way to mitigate those stress issues that we were talking about earlier.
I love it. Jill, this was super fun. Thank you for coming. So I know that you do lots of corporate teams and wellness and speaking, and that you have a great webinar series. Tell us where people can find you.
Fantastic. They can go to my website, jillhewlett.com. They can sign up for the newsletter to be in the loop of the offerings that are happening. There's lots of resources and also my social media links.
Jill, thank you so much. You are a fantastic guest. I'm sure that we're all going to be doing our brain exercises and getting zipped up and trained for success. Thanks so much. Hey, it is Twitter Uncorked. The question for this week is, when you have to present information, what do you do to prepare so you don't forget? At Just Walkin' Faith says, I practice walking through my home and moving my hands with the words. At Beth Grant says, I use slides that provide me with visual cues. At Lisa Petty says, I connect info with stories and then I tell the stories. At The Superstarter says, I rehearse out loud for timing, then I write it out longhand to help embed it in my memory. Do you want to get uncorked? Watch for next week's question on my Twitter feed at Cindy Ashton. Next up, we have commercial break, but stay tuned because after the break, I'm going to share how to memorize before you present.
My name is Maxine Warsh, and I'd like to introduce you to the washcloth. Simple to use, water only. With a warm cloth, you're going to remove all of your makeup. My face is clean and smooth and exfoliated, water only. The washcloth. Some people call it a miracle, I call it practical.
I know you. Like me, you're a socially conscious entrepreneur, already creating a legacy in your business, living what you believe in, and nothing will stop you. Except having a web presence that's just okay. The world needs to see your work, your passion, your gift. Let's show it to them. I'm Michelle Empson, and together we will build a digital platform that will be the foundation for your business growth. I did this for cindyuncork.com, and I want to do it for you. So visit me today at sanctuary-studios.net, and let's get started.
This segment of Influence Uncorked was brought to you by Your Persuasive Voice with me, Cindy Ashton. Presentation and communication skills training to boost your influence. So in our lives, whether at business, work, or play, we have to present information sometimes. And the challenge becomes, how do I remember what I'm supposed to say? And so it really actually comes down to multiple intelligences. So there is different learning styles that each of us have, and we want to play to our strengths. So when you have something important to say, whether it's a presentation or a job interview or having to tell your partner or a friend something important, and we want to make sure that we remember it, we want to learn to memorize through how we naturally learn. So there are 8 types of intelligences, but we're only going to cover a few. The first is my favorite because I'm a kinesthetic learner. Kinesthetic learners are really about moving. They need to move to learn. So if I had to present information, I would move. I would walk through my living room and I would go over and verbally speak everything out loud as I'm moving. So it really gets in my body. Now, musical learners, they learn through sound and rhythm. So again, they could be doing a rhythm on their lap and going, once upon a time there was a cow in the field and that cow was ba ba ba. Whatever your text is, I'm quite sure that's not what you need to memorize. Now, if you're a linguistical learner, these are people who are great with languages. Write, just right away, write down, get a piece of paper and pen, and just go free form and write everything out that you want to say and keep writing it several times until you really know it. Now, if you're on the opposite spectrum and you're a mathematical learner, what I want you to do is write things systematically. So do bullet points, write yourself out a structure. Now, if you're a visual learner, draw, create some big mural, map it all out visually and really see the pictures. So if you're curious about these multiple intelligences, they're called Gardner's multiple intelligences, make sure that you Google them, take the free assessment, figure out how you learn best, and then when you have to memorize, think, oh yeah, I'm a visual learner. I shouldn't be trying to just sit there going, I'm going to try to memorize. You're going to do visual stuff. So that's really what you want to do, is really leverage your strength and really leverage what you're doing in terms of your learning styles. All right, go get them and happy memorizing. Next week on the show, the holidays are here and they're just going to keep coming and coming and coming. So we've got Dagmar Shonrock coming on the show talking about how to deal with mother's guilt. But as usual, go to our web exclusives because Mariana from Orangeville, Ontario, Canada has requested that I sing something from Phantom. Think of me. Okay, so go to it, have a great week, and get on Cork.